Good evening. We have spent much time over these past reflections, examining the ways Christianity has failed, how it reversed, how it embraced power, law, violence, and moralism in place of grace, peace, and freedom. If we stopped there, we might reasonably ask, is there anything left of the gospel? Has Christianity been so thoroughly subverted that we should abandon it altogether? But in chapter 7 of The Subversion of Christianity, Jacques Ellul offers something very different from despair. He offers a sober, realistic, but unwavering hope. Tonight, I want to walk with you through the heart of that hope, not as a denial of failure, but as a defiant affirmation of grace. First, Ellul does not revise or minimize his critique. On the contrary, what's up, Nick?
The host said that.
Hello?
Hello.
What would you like to say?
Christianity is not objectively proven. Christianity is not objectively proven. Don't just lie on the internet for fun. Get a job.
I'm not lying.
You're just lying on the internet for fun. Are you bored? How the hell is this Christianity objectively proven? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. You probably don't understand. You probably never read a book. You probably never read a book or anything, but I read books.
You know what objectively means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means the truth statement is true.
How the hell can Christianity be objective when it's subjective? You're acting like every single person on this earth is Christian.
That's not how that works.
Yes, it's how it was. It's subjective, subjectivity.
So can you see the background? It's a book. Maybe you've never seen a book in your life. It's called The Objective Proof for Christianity. So within that book, I read this book twice. It contains an argument that proves Christianity.
Yeah, of course you'll use another book to prove something that you literally believe in a book. You base your whole life on a fucking book. Of course your book is the key to life.
Yeah, atheism is like anti-book.
That's not true. Atheism is anti-fiction. So get it right.
No, it's anti-books.
It's anti-fiction. It's anti-fiction.
No, it's anti-books.
It's anti-fiction. It's anti-fiction.
You just demonstrated my point that atheists hate books. So it's kind of hard to reason with you if you don't like to learn.
Not all books are fiction, you idiot.
Okay. Well, I think you should read. So
I think you should wake up to reality and stop saying dumb shit on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah. Hope you get smarter, mate. Research on science, retard.
Okay.
Yeah, drop me now.
Okay.
Private.
Hello.
Welcome, neighbor.
Thank you.
What would you like to say?
I would like to discuss, let's see, the first topic.
Sure.
All right. So what do you mean by that?
Well, here we do the transcendental argument for God, where we argue that facts are not neutral. Facts require a story. And so you have your story for facts, I have my story for facts, and in my story, God creates all facts that are not himself. So see, my facts are like different from yours, and we can demonstrate that the story of the Bible is necessary for facts, because any other story entail like a contradiction or an absurdity.
So you're basically starting with a presupposition that my God already exists.
I'm starting with facts, and then I ask the question, what has to be true for facts to be true?
Yeah.
And then
And then you just
I can demonstrate that the God of the Bible is necessary for any fact because facts need.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's start there and demonstrate that the Bible is necessary for facts.
Well, yeah, because facts require identity over time,
Wait, what? Say
causality.
that?
What?
I didn't hear the first thing you said.
Facts require for things to have an identity,
What does that
and
mean?
that something is what it is and it isn't what it isn't. So if a
All
fact can
right.
exist and be something it's not, then you couldn't have facts. So we need God um, to explain an eternal truth like that. That something in all possible worlds, something exists as it is and it doesn't exist as it isn't.
So why can't we ground that in human minds?
Because human minds don't always exist. They're not eternal.
So you're saying the facts. I do agree that, like, if I say, let's just say, for example, that a blue pen is not red, right? I do agree that the blue pen is not red. The properties of the fact exist. But I don't agree that the statement, like, a blue pen is not red, exists outside of the human mind.
Well, but the law of identity states that something is what it is and isn't what it isn't. And that has to always be true. It can never not be
Yeah,
true.
the properties themselves. Like, let's just say I have a blue pen, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, like, all human minds disappeared tomorrow. The blue pen would still be blue tomorrow, right? But the statement, whether or not, like me saying the blue pen is not red, wouldn't exist without my mind. So the properties of the fact still exist, but the
No.
statement doesn't.
But truth is a mental substance. Truth isn't like a physical thing.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
So we need to have an eternal truth, you need an eternal mind.
I don't agree that truths exist outside of the mind.
Right. That's why for identity to be true, there has to be an eternal mind. Because that truth has to exist in an eternal, because it's always true. Or like 1 + 1 = 2. That's always true eternally. So you need an eternal mind where that truth can exist eternally.
Or are you talking about the statement? The statement needs to exist eternally?
The
Or
truth. The truth
no,
statement.
there's like the statement, like me saying the thing and like the thing itself.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Like for example, like a blue pen, right?
Yeah.
You making the statement that it's blue, right? That's the statement. And the pen actually being blue. That's the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, so the properties of the pen would exist outside of the mind, but the statement wouldn't.
Okay, but I don't understand what is this? So but the point is like the law of identity has to be always be true.
Not outside of minds, no. If
Okay.
minds didn't exist, that wouldn't exist.
Exactly. That's why we need an eternal mind because the law of identity is eternally true. So you need an eternal mind for an eternal truth.
No, bro, you're talking about the properties of the thing.
Okay, I guess this is just going over your head.
No, I get what you're.
What's up?
What would you like to say?
I'd kind of like to just pick up on that last conversation there.
Yeah, so eternal truths exists, and truth is like a mental substance. So you need a mind to think, an eternal mind to think eternal truths.
Okay, how do you know that? I agree that like I operate under that same assumption that there is, an objective truth that we're observing and whatnot, and that our minds are accurate and whatnot. I operate under that assumption, but I recognize that that's a presupposition that I don't have any evidence for. That's kind of my foundational presupposition there. And it feels like you're taking a
Well,
step
then
further and
that would be
supposing that there's an explanation for that.
so yeah, that would be so you would have what's called an unexplained explainer problem. So that means that's a concession to my argument. So your position collapses without the Christian God.
Well, no, what I'm saying here is that we're both making that presupposition, and you're making the further presupposition without evidence that the God is behind that presupposition, and I don't know why you're making that extra presupposition.
Because my presupposition is self-explanatory, and your presupposition has an unexplained explainer, which means it collapses without the Christian God.
Well, having an explanation doesn't mean it's the right one.
It's the only it's a
Only one you
necessary
can think of.
it's a necessary precondition to have an explanation. So your presuppositions make explanations impossible because you have nothing that is like rational, self-explanatory, and necessary.
Yeah, when you get down to the nitty-gritty, I agree with you. I'm saying that we have to make that presupposition to interact with reality at all.
This is going over your head.
It's not. I'm sorry you think that.
This is going over your head. Okay. Think of like the source of existence and truth itself, whatever that is. We can't know that as humans with like science or with human reason.
Right.
The only way we can know that is if it's a person that speaks to us. And if you deny that the source of existence is a person that speaks to us, then nothing is real.
Wait, so you're saying that there's no possible other explanation for the source of existence other than a personal person?
That's what I'm telling you. This is
why is that the only explanation?
I just explained it to you because unless the source of existence is a person who speaks to us, we can't know it.
Yeah, but why?
We can't know. I just explained it to you because we can't.
No, you're just saying things. You're not giving an explanation.
I told you we can't know it with science and we can't know it with reason.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
so that's why we can't. The only way to know it is if a person talks to us.
Because
that's
the only way we know things is through empiricism and rationalism, but none of those can get to the source of existence. So unless the source of existence is a person that reveals or speaks to us, then we can't know the source of existence. So you would have the problem of ultimate mystery.
So why is that not an option then? That there's not a person talking to us and we can't know it?
Because it makes knowledge impossible. That would be it.
Well, I mean, tough luck. If that is the truth, then so be it, right?
So then you're contradicting yourself by arguing me.
That's what I'm saying. It's a presupposition I make that truth does exist. It's one that I make so that I can interact with reality. Okay, beyond that, I don't make any more presuppositions.
Okay, but you're contradicting yourself though.
Where?
Arguments are impossible given your presuppositions, but you are sitting here arguing with me, so that's a performative contradiction.
I know you're missing my secondary statement there. That unless I make that presupposition, I can't.
This is ridiculous. Welcome, neighbor.
Hello.
Hello.
You right?
I'm aight.
I said, are you alright? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aight.
Okay. So you say Christianity is objectively proven?
Yes.
Can you explain that? You don't have to have a massive explanation, just something to get me an understanding for the moment.
Sure. So when you ask for the proof, you're already standing on Christian ground. So that's not what I was looking for. There we go. So you're like without God, the Christian God, you're like Wile E. Coyote, where like the very logic you're using wouldn't be real or meaningful because nothing would make it real. Whereas like the Christian would have The Christian's like the roadrunner. He's standing on solid ground. That's the mind of God that makes logic real. So
Okay, sure. I wanna argue a point, right? It's kind of unrelated to what you're saying now, so I apologize for leading you onto that. So just this is a general thing. You've probably heard it before. So, first of all, do you believe that God, isn't the Christian God, is all loving, all powerful, and what's the other one? All knowing.
yes,
Okay, you do believe that.
yes.
Okay, great. So my question is that. Hang on, I need to think of it for a second. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. It's 1 a.m. in the UK. So, what was I going to say? Sorry, just give me a
You're
second.
gonna have something like, "Why does God allow bad things to happen?"
It's along that. Yeah, it's along those lines, but it's not the same. It's not just that. The all-knowing part is the part that I find difficult. So yeah, thank you for helping me. If God knew before creating everything that it was going to end up with people suffering, with people dying, with war, with conflict, with genocide, with disease, with natural disaster, all the awful things in the world. If God knew that was going to happen, if God knew that was going to happen because Adam and Eve were going to bite the apple, if God knew that was going to happen before he created it, why did he still create it in that way?
Probably the same reason that parents have children. Every parent who has a child, they know that the child's going to suffer in life, and they still create the child because when two people love each other and they come together, they want to share that love, and then they create a baby. And so God is love. He wants to share his love, and he created us as his children, despite knowing that we would suffer, just like any parent knows that their child that life can be hard.
Is the difference though?
What's the difference?
So when a parent has a child, the parent isn't all loving, all knowing, and all powerful. I think if I was a parent, which I'm not,
But you just asked about like, why does God create knowing that the child suffers? I thought that was your question. So that's the same thing with the
no, but you have to bring in all three aspects. They're all powerful as well. God had every power to make it so that children wouldn't suffer, but he chose not to.
Again, like a parent disciplines his child or their child. They like temporarily, they might ground them, they might revoke their car privileges or
You're missing
phone
my point.
privileges. Well, that makes the child suffer. But if the parent doesn't make the child suffer, the child will suffer even greater, because without discipline, they could wind up in prison for the rest of their lives if they don't
You're missing my
follow.
point. Is that
I don't think I am.
no, you are. So because before Adam and Eve bit the apple, or whatever, I'm not saying it's an apple or anything. I know that's not in the Bible, but the point is, before that happened, God knew that was going to happen in the way that He created the planet, or not the planet, the universe. And yet He still chose to do it in that way. He could have made it so that Adam and Eve wouldn't bite the apple, but He didn't.
He didn't make them bite the apple.
No, yeah, he created the universe with them having the capacity to bite the apple and damn humanity for the rest of existence with eternal pain and suffering. He chose to do that. He didn't. He could have made it any other way, but he didn't.
He could have made it well, you say he could have made it any other way. I don't know how you know that.
Well, he's all powerful and he's all loving. So if he was all loving, he would have made it any other way.
I mean, how do you know?
How do I know? How do I know what?
He could have made it any other way. You're just saying
he's all powerful and all loving. That's what the Bible says. That's what you just said.
But does the Bible say he could have made it any other way?
Yes, because he's all powerful.
I don't understand.
He can do anything.
No,
he could have created the world in any way.
He can't do anything.
So he's not all powerful.
Well, if that's what you want to say.
No, but that's what you said. He is all powerful, and now you're saying he's not all powerful.
Well, you're assuming that all powerful means you can do anything. But
yeah, that is what all powerful means. All powerful.
Okay.
Nothing stops.
Well, then
you.
God's not all powerful.
God's not all powerful.
No.
But that's what the Bible says he's all powerful.
Okay, but the Bible doesn't say God can do anything. The Bible says God can't experience sin. So if you're going to say all powerful means God can do anything, then the God of the Bible is not all powerful.
But the Bible says that God's all powerful, so the Bible's wrong.
Or you don't understand what the Bible means by all powerful, because
I
it
know
doesn't
all
mean
powerful doesn't matter what the Bible says it means. We know what all powerful means. That term exists outside of the Bible.
Do you think I'm lying to you?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Notes, I think he was talking about the two different types of the transcendental argument, and he said something like a metaphysical version
Yep.
and like another version.
Yep.
Would you say there's like a stronger one, or you think they're both just as good?
Darth would say the one's an ontological argument, which ontology has to do with existence, and then the other one is an epistemological argument. Epistemology has to do with knowledge. So, like Darth will argue that God's necessary for anything to exist, where like Jay Dyer will argue that God's necessary for knowledge. So the existence one I think is a much stronger claim, but
Okay.
you can kind of flip between the two. They both work, I guess. I think the knowledge one might be a bit easier to understand for people, but Darth says that they don't care like if knowledge is impossible, so he doesn't like to do that route. So Darth will always go with he'll talk about the God's necessary for existence.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Welcome, neighbor.
That's good.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Oh my gosh. I can't remember. What were we talking about?
We're talking about the existence of God being all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving.
Yeah, so when we say all-powerful, we don't mean he can't unalive himself. He can't experience sin. He can't contradict.
Well, he can experience sin, he just doesn't because he's all-loving and all great, right?
No, he can't experience sin.
Is God perfect?
Yes.
Is everything he creates also perfect?
Is everything he creates also perfect? I don't think so. It says it's when he created the world, it said it was good. I don't think it said it was perfect.
Who created the devil?
Who created the devil? God.
Why would he do that then?
Well, angels have a free will, so some angels chose to rebel against God, just like humans rebelled against God.
But why would he create that as an opportunity for angels to do?
Why? How would I know that?
You're the Christian.
Yeah, but I only know what God reveals. So the Bible doesn't say why God created angels, but it says he did create angels. And
that's not why he created angels. It's why he made them able to become Satan.
Because freedom underpins all of Christian ethics. So the idea that he created beings with the ability to rebel against him. He's not like a dictator.
But he just didn't have to do it though, did he? He could have just made it so that didn't happen.
No, because love requires a free will choice. You can't force love.
You can have free will without creating evil.
Can you have love without free will?
You can have free will without creating evil. You don't have to. You could have given everyone free will without.
No, don't dodge.
Dodging. God is love. Like the whole point of life in the universe is to love God and to love others.
Well, I don't believe in that. But
huh?
I don't believe that the point of the universe is to love.
Oh yeah. What do you think the meaning of life is then? What's the purpose?
There's no meaning to life.
Exactly. Oh my God.
We are here.
That's sad, dude.
I'm not sad. I was a Christian for my whole life until a few months ago. I'm the happiest now.
I've never heard that.
Wait, so are you critiquing the Bible or what?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you started to critique the Bible and then all of a sudden you're just talking about your beliefs.
I
I don't
didn't bring that
understand
up.
that.
I didn't bring that up. I was asked what I think the meaning to life is. So I responded.
Yeah, but you understand, like, when you're critiquing the Bible, you have to speak on what the Bible says, right?
Yeah, I was.
No, you
Alright.
weren't. You were.
It
You were.
just
No,
it
I
didn't seem
wasn't.
No,
consistent.
no. You were
Well, what I
strong. You
heard
were
was,
strawmanning. You
yeah,
were
what I heard
strawmanning.
was you were starting to critique the Bible, and then you were just like, "Oh, well, I don't believe that."
Yeah, because I was asked if it was true or not, if I believed it, so I answered it.
Yeah, but the point is that
Well,
the
hang on a
in
minute. You don't have to believe in the Bible to critique it. That's like potentially like
I think you do. That's
you
why
have
that's my argument is you
your
can't
whoa, whoa,
rationally
whoa,
deny the
whoa,
Bible.
whoa, whoa. Your argument is you can't critique something if you don't believe in it.
No, with the Bible in particular, you couldn't rationally deny it because it would have to be presupposed to critique anything. Because you need to critique something, you need to assume logical consistency. Without logical consistency, you couldn't critique anything. And you only get logical consistency from the God of the Bible.
Why
So
don't okay? And then what if someone doesn't believe the Bible exists? Well, not exists. Sorry,
then
the
they're
words of the
just
Bible are true.
living an inauthentic life. It's like being a flat earther. They don't believe the earth is a sphere, but then they navigate using spherical geometry.
So you're saying everyone that isn't Christian is the same as a flat earther?
Yeah. You navigate your life as if you're living in the Christian God's world. Just like the flat earther navigates on the sphere, he doesn't
Okay, let me
navigate on
ask
the
you this:
flat
how many
earth.
times has the flat Earth theory been proven wrong?
Uh, how many times? I mean, like how many?
A lot,
Like,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. How many times has the Bible been proven?
Everything proves the Bible.
No, it doesn't.
So
You can't just say
there
that.
couldn't
Everything proves the
there
Bible. How many
couldn't
times has someone been able
be
to prove the existence of God?
because the Bible's necessary for proof. So all proof would implicitly prove the Bible. There couldn't be any more proof of the Bible if God tried to.
Has anyone ever been able to prove the existence of God?
I've done it on this live like
Yeah.
multiple
No,
times.
the whole point is no one can prove or disprove the existence of God.
According to you, but that's your worldview. In your worldview, no one can prove anything, which is why you should be a Christian and be a realist and stop
I
like
was
this
a, I was a
goofiness.
Christian until I actually looked at the arguments and then realized, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I've been wrong.
Yeah, what's the flaw in the argument that I made?
Which argument?
If facts, then God. Facts, therefore God.
So facts don't exist without God. Is that what you were saying?
God's necessary for facts. Yeah.
How?
So
Explain it.
I've already even explained it to you, dude.
Facts can't exist without a God.
No, because facts require identity, and identity requires something absolute to ground identity.
I just don't see that as like anything related. I just think
So like the things that exist, we see things that exist, and they exist dependently. Everything that we experience depends on something else for its existence. And in reality, there has to be something that exists independently of everything else. And that's God, right? And if there's nothing that exists independently of everything, then you have an infinite regress of dependent existing reality. And so there would be nothing could make reality real. You need something that, like a self-existing necessary reality to make any reality real.
do you?
Yeah, you do.
You sure?
That's God. And the only way you can know that type of thing is if it's a person that speaks to us. So that's what I have in Christianity. You don't have that. So you can't even like make an argument. All your words are just noise without the Christian God.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying nothing. So you're saying everything has to depend on something to exist.
No, I'm saying for anything to be real, there has to be a self-existing necessary reality.
I just don't think that's true. I don't think there has to be something.
Okay.
Something has to
But
exist.
you don't know. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You're just saying that.
Well, then use normal words to describe things.
Yeah, it isn't. You understand what it means to be dependent. If everything is dependent, then that's an infinite regressive dependent things. There has to be something in the chain that exists independently, or nothing can exist in the chain.
What do you mean existing independently?
That it doesn't depend on anything. What do you mean?
Doesn't depend on
I'm literally using the dumbed down language you asked for. There's
Well, then dumb it
dependent.
down more because you're just not.
It's impossible to like. There's dependent existences and there's an independent something that exists. And
Okay,
if
so what is so without using circular reasoning, what is a dependent thing that is? What is it? What dependent existence?
like you depend on your parents
Why are
for
you using
exist.
circular reasoning? You can't use the word depend to describe a circular reasoning.
Yeah, all definitions are circular, sir. You define a word, but you can't use words because it's circular.
Yeah, there's a difference between circular reasoning and vicious or fallacious circular reasoning.
He told me my definition was circular, but all definitions are circular. This guy's nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. What it seems like to me is he's implying that that's like a bad thing. So I was kind of saying like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not fallacious at all.
These people are ridiculous.
Me?
Yeah, you, neighbor.
Oh, hey, King, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm not a king.
Oh shit, just saying hey. So what's this about Christianity being objectively proven? How's it proven? How's it proof? Where's the proof on it?
When you ask for the proof, you're already standing on Christian ground because Christianity, the story of the Bible, is necessary to prove anything at all.
How though? Like, give me, because like, let's say I don't read the Bible that much and I'm not that smart. Like, explain it to me just so like me and the people watching, can like hear a bit of this proof.
Okay, it has to do with like the ground you're standing on. So
Yeah, but like how though?
yeah, I'm gonna. So like, when we both have to use logic to debate or argue, and the question is going to be like, is your reasoning real and meaningful according to your story, your presuppositions? So
Predispositions.
yeah, we humans we observe the world through a story. We understand the world through a story.
Yeah.
And in the Christian story, like the Christian would be like the roadrunner in the picture, where there's the mind of God can ground logic and make logic real. So when I use logic, I'm standing on the ground of the God's mind. But if you deny the Christian God, you're like Wile E. Coyote, where now you're standing on thin air. There's nothing that makes logic or reason meaningful.
But there's like science and facts though. I just want you to give me like, because proof, right? To have proof of something, you need to like either visibly see it, be able to visibly hear it, observe it with the five senses. I'm gonna guess is like the rough definition of proof. I don't know the dictionary definition. So just from your panel, like there being proof, and I understand this argument with like the runner and the bird. I sort of understand that. I just want this like proof. I want a little bit of it, just a tiny bit.
I don't understand. Like, so we just ask, like, we say logic is true or facts. Let's do facts. Let's say facts exist or facts are true.
Yeah.
And then I ask the question, what else has to be true for facts to be true? And we can demonstrate that the God of the Bible has to be true for any fact to be true. If you deny the God of the Bible, that's like denying all facts, because facts require identity. And without the God of the Bible, no fact would have any identity.
Well, not really. Like, you could have
Yes,
the
really.
fact that you have the fact that if you, put yourself underwater for too long, you'll deprive yourself of oxygen and you'll drown. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. Without the Bible, we'd still have that fact. We'd still know about it.
We wouldn't have
I
that
don't
fact
understand the correlation.
because that fact requires other facts. Like there has to be an absolute truth.
Well,
There
no,
has to
not
be
really.
necessary
Because
truths.
in this
Okay.
scenario, you could get like
Okay.
100
Well
humans,
then,
right? And like
but
start from zero.
if there is an absolute truth, then you could exist and not be you. That would be the entailment of what you just said.
Not
So
really. It's just the entailment
okay,
of
well
like
now,
me being
okay,
able to drown.
I can't. You're just gonna say no. Well, have you considered nuh-uh? You're not really responding intelligently to what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna remove. I'm just gonna move on. Okay.
King, you just are stupid, but alright. Bye, King.
Okay. Well, not really. I'm not really stupid because you have no. Okay, I got a phone call. Can you hear me when I'm talking? You can't hear me when I'm on the phone, right? Because like it mutes me when I swipe off the app.
It's live pause.
Okay. I mean, look at the guy's name. Like he's clearly not serious. What a weirdo.
Man, P. Morris, you would have had the most entertaining debate, dude. Like about like 5 minutes ago, there were some atheists named Born Again Atheists who was requesting up.
Oh, I've talked to her.
Oh, really? How was it?
So her background says God is evil,
Yeah.
and so I said something like, "Well, if God was evil, wouldn't he like force you to believe in him?" And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "But you don't believe in him." She's like, "Yeah," I'm like, so he's not like, and then she like kind of like, yeah, she kind of went really silly after that. I think she realized I kind of got her.
Listen, it's because she goes for the, I guess, for the lukewarm Christians, and then she brings up the Old Testament, and the moment she gets to the Old Testament, she never lets it go.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really like. Well, at least, I don't know how would you respond to the Old Testament, because like I got baked like 2 days ago.
I'm like tired of all that. Like it's just emotional blackmail.
I know it is, dude. It's so annoying.
So I just like they'll be like, why did God command the Israelites to unalive the Amalekites and the babies and always the babies. So I just say, well, he just does that because he loves us.
Well,
So
the reason why I got baked is because like you know what, if your kid shoplifted in the Old Testament, I think in the book of Exodus you had to take off their fingers.
okay.
So the atheist was just asking me, if you were a parent, would you do that? I'm like, no. And then but then he said, if God commanded you, would you do it? I'm like, I can't really answer that.
What verse does it say that?
What verse you brought up?
Yeah, what verse did it bring up where you said you had to cut off the finger?
Yeah, I've never heard that one.
It was in Exodus or Deuteronomy. I don't know the exact chapter. I think it was near the 20s.
Hold on.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check.
Hold on.
Listen, but like
You ask AI or something?
no, I don't know. Like it was like he was an ex-Christian. He was a part of the Baptist church, so I don't know if the Baptist church teach something different. Because I think they're Protestants, but they're like more Protestant than Protestants.
Darth would have like a good response. Like I don't think Darth would like they're asking like really dumb hypotheticals.
I know, that's why I'm like, dude, it's because you're asking
You
me
could say like
hypotheticals. And
you could say like you're God, according to his unchanging nature, would never ask me to do that or something like. I would say that.
yeah, and I did. I'm like, well, God never asked me to do it, and then he switched up the topic. He said, what about Isaac and Abraham? I'm like, well, I'm telling you right now, Isaac. He said, but Isaac still has trauma because I said, well,
That would support your position because that's a story about human sacrifice is wrong. So the whole point of that story was to not sacrifice Isaac. It was like bad to sacrifice Isaac.
oh my! I wish I knew that, bro. You actually helped me so much to finally like get over that argument. Thank you.
Oh wait, did you say something about getting someone's fingers cut off for stealing? You said.
Yeah, we're shoplifting. I don't know if that's what it said. I never read Exodus.
I don't know if that's in the Bible. I don't know.
bro. It's not. So literally, what he was doing, this is what a lot of atheists do. They take advantage of you not knowing like scripture well. So they'll just throw something in there and be like, "Oh, so then what you have to do is you have to say, hey, what verse does it say that?" This is what I do. You don't have to, but
Yeah.
just so that they look dumb, just say, "Hey, what verse does it say that?" And just see what they say. And then if they give you a verse, go and read it to them. And then when you read it, say, "Oh, where does it say that?"
Yeah. I think someone made something up to kind of mislead you and kind of like make it seem like they had like a little gotcha moment. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
They lied to you to confuse you. They took you into their they put you on their train tracks. So whenever somebody does that, bro, I want you to ask them, "Hey, what verse does it say that? What verse does it say that?"
Well, it's good. No, he overwhelmed me because after a certain point, like because first it was talking about the New Testament, which like it's pretty easy to talk to about.
Right.
Everybody knows the Old Testament, the New Testament. Sorry. Then
Uh,
he went. Then he said, "There's a shift in tone." So now we're gonna talk about owning people. I'm like, dude.
no, that so okay, so that's fine. Okay, like if he first and foremost make it known to him, like, "Yo, you're shifting," but okay,
I did tell him like, you're shifting to an outrageous topic already.
you don't have to. So here's the thing. Uh, with what I'm trying to learn too is the tag argument. So for him to even say that any to make any kind of judgment, like what standard is he revealing to whenever he talks about anything that God does wrong?
Yeah.
So you can. That's what I'm trying to learn how to do. Right. So you can do that, or if you want to do the other route, like I said, if he brings you to a verse, go and read the verse and read the context. Right? Because
Well,
what people like to do is they like to cherry pick certain verses, but they never read the verses around it.
no, I get your point. It's because like when he started, like this was way later in the, like, because I was like, I had the Bible in front of me, right? I was flipping to the verses he gave me, but after a certain point, when I was getting overwhelmed, because
You know,
it was 7 in the morning and I haven't slept
uh,
all night, so like I was overwhelmed, so I couldn't like.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, no, bro. There's none. Like literally, the closest. It's not even close. There's nothing that says that you have to chop your son's fingers off if they still. He's talking about the laws that they gave if you stole a man's ox or if anybody stole. It actually says that you have to pay. You have to pay the master or something like that. I can't remember. I have to go look, but it has nothing to do with cutting somebody's fingers off. He literally just made that up on the spot to sound smart.
Was his argument was God made this law, so he said thus it has to be done no matter what, because God's law never changes.
But what he's okay, so
No.
yeah, so this is stupid. Okay, so this is why this is stupid because according to what he gave you, right? He said, well, in Exodus it says that God. If a son steals, then you have to cut off his fingers. Okay, so then let's go to it. Where does it say that? Oh, it doesn't say that at all. Okay, so then why are you lying?
Well, I wasn't that part of the who was it the Hebrew law, right?
Yeah, so he's talking
You,
about
you gotta. These laws aren't rigidly enforced too.
yeah.
They're more like a ethical guideline than like they're like in modern legal code. They rigidly enforce the legal code. They didn't do that with this law code. They're more. It's kind of like exact. I think a lot of it's like hyperbole.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get it.
Like it's exaggerated.
Bro, it was like because he was bringing up so many questions, and then like he said, "Would you?" Like he kept repeating, "Would you do it?"
Yeah, so what he was doing is he was just throwing a lot at you because that's what they like to do. They like to throw a lot at you to get you jumbled up. And then whenever he said, "Would you do that if God told you to do that?" He's trying to get you to say, "Oh yeah, I would." But then what PMAR said is, you know what God you serve, so you know that God would not ask you to do that.
Yeah. So don't even entertain it. I would just say like the God I serve commands me to love others, and love does no harm to another. So he would never ask me to do that.
Yeah, well. I will admit, like, I did cave in because after a certain point, I'm like, dude, this guy keeps asking the same questions, and he's just for like, I caved in. I'm like, dude, God never asked me to do these things, bro. And then he will keep pressing it on, and eventually I had like I guess like a breakdown. I'm like, dude, you can't like I don't know what you want me to do. And I just got mad. I'm like, well, I don't know what I want to do, bro.
Yeah, whenever they start asking you a lot of questions, I like me. What I do, if they just start trying to throw a bunch of questions at you, mute them and say, "Hey, we're gonna take this one question at a time. Stop jumping around, right? And if they keep jumping around, just kick them.
But no, it wasn't my life. It was his life.
Oh, well, then you just leave.
No, I know. I should have left because after a certain point, I'm like, this isn't going nowhere. But
Yeah, whenever, and here's the thing too, when you're on their live, there's nothing wrong with you going on their live, right? The problem though is because you're on their live, right? You're still with God, obviously, but like if they're hosting their own live, then they're gonna have more control of like muting you, telling you what to do, things like that. Here's the thing: just tell them next time if you're on their live to say, "Hey, stop asking so many questions, please. Can I answer one question at a time?" If they don't stop, then just say, "Hey, since you're not willing to have a decent conversation, I'm just gonna leave," and then leave. Don't even waste your time. Like, just don't even do it.
when he did bring up was it, I think Exodus 20 or 21 where it talks about owning people. I don't think I can say the real word on here, obviously. I did tell him this is the Hebrew law. We're not Hebrew. We're not Hebrew, dude. Like we're way past.
Exodus 20. Well, Exodus. Are you talking about what do you mean?
It was more it talks about if you're I don't know like your person that you own did X thing, you have the right to
I think you say slave. I think you say that.
I don't know. I don't think I can say that on live. That's why I want to play it safe.
Yeah. So here's the thing that most people, especially atheists, don't understand about slavery. It's not even slavery in the Old Testament back then. So slavery in the Old Testament is servitude, right? So what does that mean? So back then, right? It's not like chattel slavery where people were forced into it, right? Back then, people volunteered to be a servant, aka a slave, to be able to provide for themselves or their family if they needed to pay off debt, etc. So, what people are trying to do is they go, "Oh, look, they're all slaves," not even realizing that the slave voluntarily became a slave to be able to provide for himself or his family. So yeah, he owns it. It's as simple as like the NBA, right? What do the NBA players do? They go and they sign a contract, right? They sign a contract so that they provide what? They provide everything for them, right? They technically own them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's almost the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, at least it's better to know because I like
Well, that
he was bringing up the argument because he asked this all of these questions came from one point, and he just asked me, "Is it okay to own people, or is it okay to be owned?" And I said, "You
No,
are
it's
owned."
not. It's not okay to own people, but they were, Jesus Christ, they were volunteering to be servants, and so you have to tell them. Do you know what the slavery in the old Bible actually was? And I can almost guarantee you what they're going to start doing. They're going to start telling you characteristics of chattel slavery. Chattel slavery is like what happened to like African American or Africans, et cetera, right? And even more, not just Africans.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. As a matter of fact, what you can also do is you can point before the laws, right? Where he literally freed the Israelites from chattel slavery.
who's that one guy? Oh, no, I can't think of his name.
Okay. Well, thank you, man. Because like, I mean, to be honest, I don't know why I was debating them after like the sun rose. I probably should have went to sleep, but
No, you're good. You're good. They don't under. So what they do is they cherry pick the Bible without even understanding the history, right? Like they have to realize the time that the Bible was written in, or the books of the Bible were written in. So you have to go do research to see, well, what is this, right? What was going on around this time, right?
yeah.
Like so that's why they do that, right? So you're good, bro. Like it's
Bring up Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
All right, well, I'll get off, man. I just had this question. 'Cause I got
Yeah,
bits,
yeah.
bro.
One more thing is very simple. You can also bring up Bible verses where it speaks against oppression, and it that very simply dismantles their interpretation of the Bible on slavery.
You could
It's
say
when
I'm
you bring
King
up
James
oppression.
only. I'm King James only because in the King James the word slave doesn't appear.
Yeah.
What is, can you
That's
give me
what I
the
did to
real
some
quick?
guy the other day.
Can you give
Oh,
me the
that's
verses
too
for
good.
against oppression?
I can give you some verses in a second. Yeah, one second.
All right, if you want, I'll drop down. Just put them in the chat because I got I'm running out notes for all of these things.
Leviticus 19:33 through 34, I think.
Leviticus 13. What was it?
19. Here I'll get the background. I have it.
I
19.
don't really see it because I'm blocking. I'll just drop down, bro. All right, God bless.
Yeah, it's 33 through 34. Leviticus 19:33 through 34. That's a good one.
He said he's gonna draw. Yeah, but I think he got it. Yeah, it is. And you know what's funny? They try to use the Bible without even understanding what the true meaning actually was. So something that I started doing is I realized that the Bible, the manuscripts of the Old Testament were written in Hebrew, and they were written in some Aramaic. Some of Daniel was written in Aramaic.
Cyrillic.
You said what?
Cyrillic.
Cyrillic?
Yes.
What?
That's what most of the Bible was written in. Cyrillic.
No, it was written in
Hebrew,
and Greek.
Aramaic, and Eon Greek. Go look it up.
Yeah, that's correct.
You're talking about the King James version, aren't you?
No, we're
You're
talking
not
about the
talking
original.
about the
Talking
Ethiopian
about the
version.
manuscript.
No, we're talking about it was originally written in Hebrew, the Old Testament, and then the New Testament was in Koine Greek, and what was the other one? Aramaic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So no, sorry. So yeah. The original, like the manuscripts themselves, right? The Old Testament was written in Hebrew and some Aramaic. Some, I say some lightly, and then the Old Test or the New Testament is written in Keon Greek, which doesn't even exist anymore. That is because when you go look up certain words like slavery, like in the Old, like slavery, like in the Old Testament in Hebrew, because what most people don't understand about Hebrew is Hebrew words are not like English words, right? They can be, but not, right? So can be, but not, right? So you guys probably know this, but in Hebrew, there can be one word that means like 17 different things depending on the context of the text around the word, right? So most people don't know that. They just read it surface level, right? And they go, oh, look, this is what it says. And I did the same thing. But then my wife said, hey, you should go look at the Hebrew. You should go look at this language and see what it actually means, right? And when I did that, things started making more sense, right? But not a lot of people take the time to study the Bible like that. Like they just read it surface level.
Well,
They don't
he just left.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he was a Christian or not, but
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
weird.
what was that guy saying?
I
He
wasn't.
said something about
I don't know.
acrylic.
He seemed like acrylic. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah,
he
to my
seemed like
understanding, yeah, the majority of the Old Testament was written in Hebrew and the New Testament Koine Greek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
I've been saying it wrong this whole time. How did you say it?
Koine Greek.
Koine Greek. Okay, Koine. All right.
I think that's how you say it. I could be wrong.
I said Keon. It's definitely Koine. That sounds better.
No, I heard you. I heard you.
Kia. It was a Kia Greek. Welcome, neighbor. Law, are you there? Mars to Law. Come in, Law.
Hey, you're on. You're on, guest. You're on.
Law.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm hearing some like background noise from his mic.
Yeah, maybe he
Can you
doesn't.
hear me?
I guess he's okay. And then
Oh,
the second I kicked him, I thought he was.
yeah, yeah.
The second he says something, it was like too late. Nice. Oh, I can invite
Let
him
me
back.
see if I can invite him. Yeah.
I got him back.
Okay.